Hi to everyone and welcome to my first video. What about building a 1/35 scale Kubelwagen from Tamiya and posting the video on YouTube? Probably not the best idea, but we will do it anyway. I promise that it will be quick, easy to follow, beginner friendly. I will also show you some tips for part improvement to add some personal touch. Are we ready? Let's go! I'm Boštjan Renner and this is Diorama Devil. I love dioramas, I built some before, but I want to get better. So, subscribe to this channel and let's learn together. I know what you're thinking, why on earth another Kubelwagen video? Well, first of all, I like this kind of vehicles that you can put in almost every World War II scenario. African desert, European towns, Russian landscape for example. They are kind of universal. Second, it's a nice little kit to start with. And third, I have it in my stash. And I kind of promise to my very supportive wife that I will not buy new kits until I finish the old ones. No, seriously. So, enough talking, let's open that box.
Let's see what's in the box. Instructions. Don't need them at the moment. A nice thin windshield. Some decals. And the sprues. There is not much to say. Tamiya, well made. Not much spillover to clean. Simple kit with some good details to play with. And at the end, there is Gruber. Say hello, Gruber. Hello. Well, he's kind of German, you know. Nicely sculpted, and yes, we will build him too, but not in this episode. Instructions. Straightforward, clear. I usually study them, you should study them too. And most of the time they give you good informations, but psst, don't always follow them. I have a system to prepare the parts for the actual build. I study the step in the instructions, see which pieces I need, and I only cut those. Tamiya side cutters. They are good, but honestly, you don't have to spend so much for cutters. A good pair of electronic ones will do the job. At the end, I put the parts in a container and they are ready for processing. Put the straight part of cutters against the part, as close to the part as possible, and snap. Easy peasy. Now we cut the exhausts. You don't have to handle the whole sprue to get small parts. Just cut out the whole section with smaller parts. And now we can manage the cutting in a more simple way. When cutting small parts, the problem is that they can fly away. There is an easy fix for this. Just take some masking tape, put it on the parts, and then proceed with cutting. The carpet monster will be hungry, and we will enjoy the build. Now the parts in the bowl are ready for some cleaning. We will need a hobby knife with an old dull blade, some flexi-file sanding sticks, different granulations. In the end we can even help ourselves with some polishing sponges from 3M. As we can see, there are some leftovers from the cutting. I usually start the work with the scalpel. Very gently remove the bigger part with the sharp part of the blade, and then do some scraping with the non-sharp part. The job is mostly done. Still using the scalpel, we move to the seam lines. Seam lines are the lines where the injection tool come together. There are always two of them and they extend all around the part. We finish the cleaning work with sanding sticks. In this case, the medium one was enough.
Before we proceed to gluing parts together, I want to show you some easy part improving techniques. The beginners can easily skip those steps, but on the other hand I want to encourage them to try them out. Okay, you need some special tools, but they are kind of not so expensive and you can take it as an investment in your modeling career. Let's see what I mean.
We start with some damage to the bodywork. Let's assume that the body took some hits to the mudguard, to the fenders. You know, Gruber was in a hurry, probably drunk, and those things happen. We can start with the lower part, which will be mostly hidden. Let's mark the places where we will shred the metal. And for a realistic look, we need to thin the plastic as much as possible. For thinning the plastic and some other damage marks, we will use a simple rotary tool. It's a wannabe Proxon tool that I get from eBay for about 20 euro. I changed the tool clamping head, took it from a hand drill. I also get a 3 to 12 volt adapter, so I can also set the RPM range. For the tools we will use some cheap sanding bits. We sand the plastic from the inside, slowly. Those bits are very fine, so you can easily control the amount of sanding. We do this until the plastic is paper thin. You know that it's okay when you can see the light coming through if you put the part against the light. Oops! I overdo it and I made a hole. You should stop before this, but no problem, we will fix this later. Now we can deform the plastic with a sharp metal object. We add some destruction with some cutting. I filled the hole from the inside. I used some pieces of sprue and some glue. I changed the bit to make some other scratches. First with the rotary tool, then finishing with the scalpel. At the end we soften the effect with cement. If we don't look at the black mess, the damage don't look so bad. I applied the same method to the body fenders. Here are some pronounced holes on those triangles. Let's drill them out. I started with the 0.3 mm drill and then enlarged the holes with the 0.5 mm one. At the end, some sanding and some smoothing with cement and voila! Pretty neat, huh? Let's make a hole in those pipes. The drill bits are from eBay, 5 euro I think. Take a scalpel. This time we need a sharp fresh tip. Try to hit the center of the pipe and make a little sign for the drill. Again, first a 0.3 mm drill and after a 0.5 mm one to finish the job. As always, we soft the edges with cement. Another little trick is to put the wheels in a slightly turned position. I'm using a Tamiya photo etch saw of 0.1 mm. Great tool, and the set of those is not expensive. The idea here is to make a little cut on the steering mechanism. Make a cut, let's say half of the plastic thickness. And then slightly bend the part. When you are happy with the result, you can block it with some cement glue. I use Tamiya extra thin cement for most of my work. Just apply some glue on the holes, some other on the pins, and put the parts together. At the end you can ensure the bond, adding some glue in the crevices using the capillarity effect. For small pieces we can use an extra pair of hands and sharp tweezers. This is a less than a 10 euro wannabe soldering stand bought in a supermarket. The process of gluing is the same. This cement gives us time to adjust the part's position for a few minutes. Okay then, I finished the other pieces of camera. I made some sub-assemblies for easy painting. Let's build the damn thing with some Patafix or Blue Tack. We cut a small piece of Patafix, we warm it up a little, put it on a table and make a small worm. We just use a tiny bit of it. You see? Just a small piece and the seat is in its place. And now finally we can put together our Kubelwagen. Can't wait to see it. I just hope that it will stay together.
And so we are done. I want to thank you for watching, and please like, dislike, subscribe, comment, do whatever you want, but please do something, it helps me a lot. In the next episode we will not paint the Kubelwagen, but we will make a street scene for it. Yep, a diorama. Stay tuned.